What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Popcorn Punchups, the only podcast you need for all your movie news, movie reviews, and more. We are the critics that only our opinions matter.
Yep.
As far as we matter. I don't know. It's been a long day for me.
Just like my letterbox says, I never claim to know what I'm talking about. So,
but we do. We claim. We provide. We give you all the movie news that you ever wanted and more. Yeah. Because I couldn't think of anything else to say, so I just said more.
And more. Yeah, I'm not sure what more we provide, but we talk about Marvel Rivals every now and then. I did receive some feedback that we talk too much about Rivals.
I love Rivals, so yeah, that's fair. I reckon that's
for a movie podcast.
I'm calling you out, Jimmy. That's 100% you. Isn't it? It's 100% Jimmy.
Who else listens?
Yeah. Well, Jimmy's the one that doesn't like Rivals. So Rivals. Yeah, sucked in, Jimmy.
How good's Rivals?
Yeah. Oh, but do you know what is coming back? Nah,
Spaceballs.
So one of your... That was last week.
Yeah.
It is another old school film, but Elijah Wood, surprisingly, is in the helm because he loves his little monster movie mashups, and it is Toxic Avenger is coming back. Yeah. I sent you the clips, the trailer for that.
Yep, I ignored
yesterday or the day before. Oh, all right. It's good.
No, I've been busy, but yeah.
Yeah.
August 29th.
Get keen for that. I'm so keen for that one.
So is Elijah Wood the actual monster?
He's in I can't remember exactly what he is doing in it.
And is Toxic Avenger a superhero? I don't know nothing about Toxic Avenger.
Yeah, kinda. He's he's a guy that gets transformed into a monster, and then he essentially wants to be a hero, but then he rips people apart. So I think he's a janitor from memory. It's been a very long time since I've seen it, but he gets toxic chemicals and stuff, and then he transforms. But he's a janitor, then evolves into the Toxic Avenger. So he becomes the Avenger that is saving people.
Right. Peter Dinklage is the Toxic Avenger. I didn't realize he was little. Oh.
Didn't realize that he was little.
No, I didn't realize he was little. Looking at Elijah Wood's this creepy looking gremlin guy.
Yeah.
Fuck all hair and stuff. Kevin Bacon. I mean, it looks pretty silly. Wait, is that Kevin Bacon?
Yeah, it's going to be.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, Kevin Bacon's in it. Yep. So, keen for it.
I feel like you can't say Avengers. You can't have the name Avenger in a movie title without thinking that it's tied to the Avengers, though. But it's not.
No, it's not. It's completely different.
Okay.
It's completely. Yeah.
Jesus. So, I watched the trailer. Then it looks bloodthirsty, which is fun.
Yeah. Yep. Guess which studio has now bought the rights to Saw?
I'm gonna guess Disney, but I doubt it.
No, it's not.
A24.
It is. Nope.
Then I don't
Blumhouse.
Oh, of course.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Blumhouse have now secured the rights to it.
That makes sense. That tracks.
Get ready for 900 Saw films.
Yeah.
There's already 10?
10.
I feel like there's 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
It's already too many.
Yeah.
But Blumhouse will beat the shit out of it until it's really, really dead.
I'm sure they'll do some crossovers. Imagine if we get Night Swim and Saw. You want to play a game? You should have said Polo.
Night Swim it's like Saw traps for underwater.
It's just all underwater.
I think the rest of the crap that. Do you know, I didn't realize till the other day? This is just a little side thing from Night Swim. The actor from Night Swim and who plays the what was his job in? We watched the new Avengers, right? What was that called?
Thunderbolts,
yeah. Wyatt Russell, who plays, was he in that? He's like
he's Captain America.
America, or whatever he is. Wyatt Russell is the son of Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell.
Yeah. There you go.
Did not know that. It makes perfect fucking sense. God, I love those
Now
two.
you do.
Overboard is one of my favorite like old crap movies. I love the fucking movie. If you've never seen it, people out there, go watch it. Highly recommended. Just to feel good. It's really inappropriate. It's like a woman falls off a ship. She's like a rich fucking hoity-toity whatever. She falls off a yacht and loses her memory. So a man, there's like this history between them. So a man, Kurt Russell, more or less convinces her that he's her husband and that she has to come and live with them. And it's just like this mindfuck whole thing. But it's not a horror, it's a comedy. Yeah. And they end up falling in love. But it's super not okay. But it's the 80s.
Yeah, right. Well, is it like Amnesia?
I suppose. What's the segue?
Because that takes us into our first one off the rank.
Does it?
Oh, kinda. Does it not?
Our first one's Dangerous Animals.
Oh, I didn't listen.
Oh, yeah, no, we're starting with Dangerous Animals. But yeah, it would be a good link to We Were Liars.
I would have done a different segue where someone falls off a boat.
Perfect. So Overboard's about a woman who falls off a boat. And then?
Yeah, it kind of leads us into our first one off the rank, which is Dangerous Animal, which is about a man on a boat and people falling off a boat.
Yeah. We're going to push off a boat.
Yeah, they do. This one's your pick.
This was my pick. Yeah, I just said it was a fun horror, and you know what? It's a fun horror. It's barely a horror. It's really goofy, but it's pretty fun. I had a good time. So this is We Love Jai Courtney from the
we do.
shaving ads.
Yep, I get compared to Jai Courtney a lot.
That's why Paul was waiting for you to mention that like every other opportunity you get. And
it's not often you look like a celebrity.
You bring up all the time. But no,
what
you're right.
do you look like?
None. I look like no one. I'm unique, individual.
Oh, okay. Apparently, I have a doppelganger.
I look like a white Matt O'Kine. We have the same smile, same eyes.
No, who's that? Who's that bloke? He worked for Triple J.
That's Matt O'Kine. Yeah.
Oh, is it? Yeah, that bloke.
Yeah.
That guy. You and him look very similar.
Yeah. I definitely think so. A lot of my family thinks so. Yeah. I met him and my dad was like, you guys look the same. And I was like, And I don't know if he saw it. I bet he left thinking like, this fucking white kid came up to me saying we look similar. Like, what an idiot. But
imagine if he was. Imagine if he was like, man, we look alike. He starts looking in the mirror.
Yeah, I don't think so. He didn't mention. He didn't really I kind of see it, but it felt really awkward. And my dad, that's what he does. Anyway, this is not Matt O'Kine, this is Jai Courtney. So this is When Zephyr, which is the name of a character supposedly. When Zephyr.
That's a weird name.
It's a weird name. I don't know if it's short for something or what, but her name is Zephyr. Go on.
It's like when you're trying to write a story and you're like, I don't know what to call these people. You either go super generic and you call them Bob or Hillary or Sam. And then they've gone super unique and there's like, Zephyr. That'll do.
Zephyr. Yeah. The love interest name is Moses as well. So Moses Markley, name of a fucking superhero. But yeah, the name was a bit. There's because they call her Zeph. There's a moment late in the film where he's like Moses is yelling over the side of the ship, Zeph, and it sounds like he's just saying Jeff. Anyway,
I'm gonna make a name for myself.
My name is Jeff. So this is when Zephyr, a savvy and free-spirited surfer, is abducted by a shark-obsessed serial killer and held captive on a boat. She must figure out how to escape before he carries out a ritualistic feeding to the sharks below. Jai Courtney plays a serial killer who has an obsession with sharks. He works on a ship that like goes out and shark diving.
Shark diving.
Yeah.
Conveniently.
Well, I mean, look, if you got obsession with sharks and you want to feed people with sharks, it's not convenient. That's planning.
Yeah, I also don't understand how do people pay in cash? Because like, surely
they sort of rock up to the boat and he's like, I'm going on you get. Especially that first couple, they just sort of rock up and he just throws them on a boat.
But like, they never return. Like, surely there's a trail where they're like, last scene here. But
I know.
And he's got an obsession with VHS tapes. Like,
I like that.
how old
That's
are
cool.
you, dude?
Yeah, he's our age. Jai Courtney. Well, he's a bit older.
Yeah, but I hate VHSs.
I don't know. This is certain nostalgic there. I only hate them because they don't last, but there's a nostalgia there.
Yeah, all right.
One of the YouTubers I watch, Summoning Salt, is he's releasing VHSs of his YouTube channel, which I fucking love that.
That's
anyway,
so bizarre.
Isn't it? But it's great. If they weren't $60 each, I'd be getting one.
That's because you can't get a VHS anywhere, and then you got to buy the player.
Yeah, they're actually pretty expensive now. People like because there's a nostalgia there and less of them and blah blah blah. It's like CRT TVs. Remember they were all sitting on the side of the road, and now people are selling them for like hundreds of dollars. Just a shitty old TV.
It's because they don't make them, and
Literally.
all the free ones are all out in the rain.
Exactly right. Anyway, so this movie starts as all horrors start with a cold opening. This feels very Blumhouse, but I really, in good ways. It starts with a cold opening of like this guy and this girl. She's real timid and quiet. They're both tourists. He chucks them on a boat, takes them out, and then they both go shark diving. And they get off the boat, and he stabs the guy in the neck, pushes him off into the sharks, and then takes her captive. We then like time jump forward. Go on, I feel like I have something to say.
Was it Heather and Greg? I also think Jai Courtney did really well in that first 9 minutes, where he was like that sort of charming, sort of larrikin. Hey, you want to come shark diving? Like he was quite
for sure
charismatic, and then the switch into stabbing the bloke and being a serial killer. I
think he did great the whole way through. I'm surprised you're singling out this 90 seconds.
Because this is where we're at so far. This 9 minutes. This is as far as we got.
Okay.
I just wanted to give it.
Yeah, you're right. He does feel very, and I like that. There's a scene where he introduces himself to the couple, and the guy talks to the girl. He's like, "Come on, let her talk." Like, oh, he's a nice guy. He's not a nice guy.
Ew.
So we then go forward to Zephyr, who is an American. She's just in Australia to surf. Is in like a fucking van, driving around, surfing the beaches. We find out later she had like a rough childhood in and out of foster care and whatever. She's tough as nails. She's a badass bitch. Don't need no man. She finds this guy called Moses, who his car is broken down or out of battery or whatever, and he asks her for like jumper cables, and he's like, "I'm not a serial killer." Obviously foreshadowing the real serial killer. Then they fuck. It just sort of cuts to them fucking, and she in the throes of passion, she has like a key in her pocket, which is more like, it looks like a key, but it's for like the fins of a surfboard. And he like throws it. I think it goes out the window or something. But
it lands on the lawn because they're parked in the driveway. Yeah. For some reason, they never go inside his house, which is also happens at the end. But anyway. So then the next scene is she's at the beach early morning, ready to surf, and she doesn't have that key with her. So she goes looking for this key. She finds this other random car or truck, wherever the fuck it was. Jai Courtney's there, and she then gets this key. She goes back to doing her thing, and he like springs out of the bushes and grabs her and puts her on the boat. And then she wakes up on the boat. The girl from the beginning, also name you mentioned before, Heather. So you got unique names, and then you just got generic names
like Heather and Tucker. I like the name Tucker. I think Tucker's great for an Australian serial killer.
Okay, he's Bruce Tucker.
Yeah, they call him Tucker.
His full name.
Yeah. Oh, Tucker.
Yeah.
She wakes up on the ship. She's the other girl there is still alive, Heather. She's all fucking panicking. Heather's like, oh, Heather's just like fully accepted the death. Whereas Zephyr, again, badass bitch, I need a man. She's like, oh, you got an underwire bra? Give me the wire, or I'll fucking get us out of here and whatever. Jai Courtney comes in, drugs them both. They wake up on the ship, and Heather is like tied to like a crane system they use to put the cage out. And she's like lowered into the water and eaten alive. And it's a pretty cool scene. Like I feel like it's a pretty good visual representation of how it would be to be fed to a shark from the bottom down, for like waist down.
Yeah.
Zephyr's then on the ship, and meanwhile, at the Pentagon or back on land, Moses. Sorry, that's an old reference, but irrelevant. Meanwhile, Moses goes to the police and is like, "This girl I slept with on a one-night stand has gone missing," and they're just like, "Dude, she's ghosted you. Get over it." So he takes matters into his own hand, finds like an app that accesses security, like CCTV footage.
No, because it's at the beach, it's like one of those live broadcasty kind of like the surf. But for some reason, he can go back in time as well, like a certain certain range.
For some reason, got really good night footage, like it's filmed on a fucking Red camera. And he goes through the footage and he finds the truck for Jai Courtney's business. So he then goes,
it was a fair leap for the assumption.
It's massive.
Assumption that this was the whole.
Yeah, but he had no other leads. But to have no leads and then find out this car was there and then just jump on his boat without him knowing. Like, this dude's, he's down bad.
Oh, even the love interest felt real forced. Even Moses, like, incentive. He was like, "I made you breakfast," and she was like, "It's a free ocean." I was like, what is happening here?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it meant to show like how connected they are or whatever, or if it's meant to just be like, you know, he cares about people, because it seemed like I'm sorry if I just with someone, met them last night and they went missing the next day, like, yeah, I might find it unusual. I'd report it to the police, but the police are like, "Oh, we can't help you." I'm like, well, I'm not going to fucking hunt down a serial killer.
Also, how does he know she went missing though?
Well, he found her van and then he called her phone and her phone was in the van and she was nowhere to be seen. So he's like, well, she must be missing.
Yeah, but that's a big assumption. Like, you've only just met her. Like, she could be doing whatever.
Yes.
Like, it was a convenient little bit of storytelling.
Yes, there's a few of them. Which I don't mind because it's not trying to be some big psychological horror with like layers and layers of fucking, it's a dumb little horror with dumb little people doing dumb little things. And I kind of like that about it. They knew what they were making, and that's
this movie felt drunk though. Like, it feels like a drunk night out the entire way through.
That's it's like, that's a good analogy.
It's like, we should make a movie, and then when you're blind, you're like, yeah, that'd be sick.
Yeah, and he feeds into the sharks. Oh, cool, yeah. Then you write a script and you're like, oh, it's kind of garbage. Oh, well, let's lean into the garbage.
Yeah. Like, it was bizarre. Some of it was leaps and bounds bizarre, but like reasonably solid. Like, acting pretty solid.
Yeah, well, look, I'll finish the rest of the little story, sorry. Zephyr and Moses are on the boat. Zephyr's going to get fed. Wait, no, Moses is going to get fed first, but because Zephyr's
getting fed.
Because Zephyr's being difficult, he keeps saying how, like, oh, we love the challenge, like, because fishermen want to fish marlin because marlin fight back, and he's like, oh, we love the challenge or whatever. So there's like that whole analogy about, you know, men wanting to be dangerous to women if they reject them, they just keep taking yes even further. So there is a bit of like commentary around like men are the dangerous thing, and I mean, literally the tagline is "You're safer in the water." So then the whole end is bizarre because Zephyr ends up getting fed, and this is the part that I was like, okay, this is really stupid, because Zephyr gets fed, she gets put into the water, this giant CGI shark comes up and like looks at her and almost gives her like a nod of like, I'm not interested in you, I'm only after eating him, sort of thing. And then he gets put in the water and instantly fucking jumps out of the water, the most horrible looking, almost asylum film level CGI shark bites Jai Courtney in the air, and Jai Courtney like reaches out and it looks horrible. Like, the CG is real bad. But at that point, I was just having a fun time, so I had a good laugh. And then they both get off the ship. They they continue sleeping together, but just inside her van. He's like, you can go inside. We have like running water and stuff. She's like, no, I'm good. And then she ghosts him. That's even though he fucking went there to save his life and whatever. She goes and moves on because that's who she is. She doesn't make connections. We found out she's got a hard life and whatever. But yeah, it's a ride.
Isn't it? It's pretty fast paced. It's an hour and a half, and it's just one thing after the other. Like, it never really slows down. No. Even it's some very Australian moments, like the dog's name Milo, the old crazy other bloke. He's like,
the other guy on the marina. Yeah.
He's very Aussie.
Yeah,
and he comes in there. For some reason he jumps in there and then he dies. He gets like the thingo in the head, whatever the fishing hook is.
Yeah.
I did like the
deaths.
Yeah, the practical effects, like with the blood. I thought the blood looked reasonable. It wasn't just like CGI splatter blood.
Yes, I agree. The CGI is horrible, but you're right. They didn't try and lean on it too much. They were pretty like, it was sparing, I guess.
I think that's budget-wise. I think that was budget constraints.
Yeah, but it works in its favour. Yeah. That's why I think practical effects always.
Yeah. I think what holds this together is the acting. The acting for everyone is actually pretty good. Like, I really like Jai Courtney's portrayal of the serial killer. Like, he was able to switch the codes pretty quickly from like a charming like lad to just a serial killer. Also, really liked his little montage.
His montage, which one?
So after the first kill, I think when Heather gets fed and he takes the hair and he's like getting the VHS ready.
Puts him with the other dozens of them.
All the VHSs have the names and the hair tagged to it. I really liked the little montage. I was like, wow, this guy's portraying a sadistic bloke pretty well.
I don't think it's split at times. Not so much like the very clear split personalities, but more just that like sinister, how easy you can flick a switch from looking terrifying to looking so like, just an Aussie battler, little legend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The scenes where he's like sitting there eating whatever, his dinner, watching the VHSs. And he's got this like creepy ass look on his face. Like, yeah, he does a good job. He's having fun. And I fucking love when actors have fun. Just dick around on camera and especially shit like this. Like, yes, there are times where it's not okay to have fun. You should be doing something a bit more serious, a bit more heavy themed. But shit like this, no one's taking it seriously, like really from the writing perspective and stuff. They're just making a dumb action fucking horror movie with a creepy guy feeding people to sharks. And they all are there with the same intent. Let's have fun. And it's fucking great. That's great. I shouldn't say it's great. It's good.
Yeah. I mean, this guy doesn't have a big list of things. So he's done The Loved Ones, The Devil's Candy, and this one.
I've heard.
And then the rest.
Loved Ones is good. Devil's Candy is about children, like I think eating children, something like that from memory. I think The Devil's Candy is about kids, from what I've heard from context, something else, but. Yeah. I mean, look.
Okay.
Point is, it's fun. And the writer, this is his first real thing. I'm not sure it was written outside of this, outside of movies, but, but it feels amateur, but it doesn't feel shit.
Yeah, okay.
Quite where it's due. I don't know who the girl is. I've never heard of her. Hassie Harrison, who played Zephyr.
She's in Yellowstone.
Okay, I haven't seen Yellowstone.
Well, Yellowstone's pretty popular.
Sure.
So, I actually haven't seen it, but it's pretty popular.
Yeah, fair enough.
People say it's good. So,
yeah, she's pretty well. But yeah, I think that Jai Courtney just holds this thing together, and he's having so much fun. And yeah, I've said that word 1,000 times already. It's decent. I had a good time. Not like a rewatchable film by any means, but
oh god, no.
It is what it says on the tin. You know?
Yep.
It's a dumb
It's
little
like one of
action.
those weekly releases that you pick up and you're like, oh yeah, we'll watch this.
Yeah. And then you talk about
Back in
your
the
weekend with your friends, like, what movies did you watch? I watched Dangerous Animals. What was it like? Yeah, it was pretty good. You should watch it. I'm not going to fucking lose my mind over this, like Sinners or whatever, you know?
No. It's not that heavily invested. But yeah.
No,
It's like
they know what they're doing.
I'd recommend it to people. So it's 3.
3.5 from me.
Ooh.
Had a pretty good time.
Noose.
All right, then. Take it away. You're going to have to really lead the charge on this one because I stopped paying attention.
So, keeping on with our theme with beaches, it's We Were Live.
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine.
There
are some beaches
die
in both.
together.
Yeah, no, we like it.
There's beaches and there's the water.
Yeah. Definitely those things.
This is We Were Liars, which is Amazon Prime's newest original series, which is apparently #1 in Australia. So I was like, yo, let's watch this because I didn't really have anything else to pick because I think everything I want to watch is like next week.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or early July. So this was a little bit of a quieter week, and I was like, let's jump on the trending. Let's see what is trending in Australia. And it is this brand new 8-episode series about a story of a 17-year-old girl from a wealthy family. And they are extremely wealthy because for some reason they own their own private island, which they've fully designed and have crazy amounts of money.
Yeah.
Like an absurd amount of money. Like it's never really like specified what the family does to have this amount of money.
She's like,
it's just
I'm Cadence Sinclair. Yes, those Sinclairs. So like, I'm guessing like the Hiltons sort of thing. That's the idea here.
Yeah, I don't know. They were
Family
kind of like
money.
the royal family of some sort.
Yeah,
It was kind of
American royalty. She put it some bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know. Pretty sure they own the banks or whatever.
Whatever.
But
some 1%ers.
But Caddy Sinclair spends her summers on a private island, which has the dumbest name that I can't even remember what it's called. Like, it's so dumb. And they call it like, they list each of the summers. And I'm like, what are you doing? It's like
Beechwood
summer
Island.
16. Beechwood, that's it. I'm like, you're a moron.
Spelled double E for some reason. Yeah, look, I'll talk about the numbered summers in a bit. Because I thought what I thought this show was going to be in my head after the first like 45 minutes. Fuck. What I thought it was going to be was going to be fucking awesome. And what it turned out was not. But please, sorry, just while you mentioned that, I'll mention it more in detail later.
Yep. So after suffering a terrible accident, she struggles to remember events that happened in her past. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, that's right. I do that every time. But the first episode is like sets us up that Caddy is...
It's Katie.
You know, Caddy.
It's not. It's like Mean Girls. This is Katie Herring. It's Katie.
Well, Katie is from the rich Sinclair family. They're on each summer they come to this island and they've gone there since they were little. They have their little like family squabbles. They're all sort of like, I feel like they all technically hate each other, where it's like they all have that family rivalry where it was like, I'm better than you because your family does whatever. They have that weird perception of reality. Like there's got to be a weird sense of reality when you have this much money where you own an island. Like your perception of reality is obviously going to be so different. I guess that's why we get, I don't know, fascinated with celebrities and stuff, because their world is so different to ours.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite characters in Saltburn is the mum. Just how like Gwyneth Paltrow, I think it was, how blocked off from reality she was, how disconnected she was from like actual real people problems.
Yeah.
That's why I couldn't give a fuck with these characters. And go on.
Yeah, pretty much the three girls, the three they weren't sisters, were they? They were like
there's two girls
cousins.
and two boys.
Oh yeah, because it was the three older ladies. That's right. So you got Penny, Katie, and then we also get introduced to Gat, who Gat becomes a love interest to Katie.
Yep.
And then also, who was the...
Is it Johnny?
Who was the brother? Johnny. So Johnny and Penny are brother and sister. And then you got Katie as well, who is from they're cousins.
They're cousins.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And then Gat is not related, but...
No, he marries into the family. Gat's father is Ed, played by Rahul Kohli.
That's it.
Who's the only actor I knew in this.
So he gets introduced, and all of a sudden Katie and Gat become like the best friends, and then they have their little love interest, because it's like, I fell in love with my best friend. Yep. And then they have this sort of like, will they, won't they, continue on and off.
Oh, just fucking kiss already. In my notes, in capital letters, fucking kiss already. The whole first episode. Oh my God.
But Gat's got a girlfriend.
Yeah, Gat. You don't know that yet.
No, but yeah, there's that, like, will they, won't they? They run pretty much every single trope under the sun with this, like, I want to call it CW network, like, dramas. So, like, back in the day, it was like that very teenage drama sort of gossipy girl.
It is. I'll go into things up later once we went through more detail, but this is literally a soap opera masqueraded as a teen bop drama. It is a soap opera through and through. It is characters walking into a room and yelling at each other with dramatic music playing over the top, and the camera gets closer and closer to their faces to show more and more emotion, and then it cuts to a new shot and more people getting mad at each other in another room. It is literally a soap opera from scene by scene.
Yep. And then they try and add in a little bit of, I guess you'd call it psychological thriller, or like a murder mystery, but not like a murder mystery.
It's a
mystery. Yes, because Katie like wakes up on the beach, and like we get that opening of like her waking up on the beach and not knowing what's going on. She's got 2 messages written on her hands, and you're like, oh, this is actually going to be pretty cool. This is going to be like a bit of flashbacks here and there, trying to work out who's done it. But then it just becomes, first 2 episodes, we get very little explanation of anything. It's just more setting up the characters and who hates who, and who's sleeping with who, and who's doing what.
Yep.
Because they're trying to set up multiple avenues of like, this could be this person, this could be that person, they hate this person for this reason.
And it's frustrating because anytime you get some sort of lead, you think it's going somewhere, it ends up being a dead end. And it's just that on repeat.
They should have just left everything open-ended so that you're like, what is going on here? And then we get the first episode, I was like, oh, this could be okay. And then the second episode started, and I'm like, I'm losing interest here.
Yeah.
Because they're an hour each. And then the third episode is when we get more time in the, I guess you would call it the present, where we actually get sort of like after the incident where
Katie.
She can't remember. Yeah. So we get to see Katie like having episodes where they're like, oh, it's traumatic effect. And it's meant to be like suspenseful, where it was like every time she'd try and bring something up, we're like, no, we can't talk about it.
Which is maddening.
Like, just tell her what's happening.
Like, that's the thing. Who done it traditionally? Again, I know it's not about breaking tradition, but you know, it's about the characters are discovering while we're discovering. Like, no one knows except for the murderer or whatever, you know, or the robber or whoever did it. But this is just, everyone's just lying, and omission is still lying. No one is telling her what happened. And the whole thing is just me, who I'm trying to side with this blonde teenager I can't connect with at all. And her whole journey is people telling her, we can't tell you. And her just being like, oh, bummer. All right, I'll go find out for myself. It's a really frustrating concept. That did me in.
Which is so bizarre, because if you look at IMDb, it's like really well received.
I don't get it.
Episode 1 is rated at a 6.7. Then it goes 8, 8.4, 8.5, 8.6, 8.7, 8.8, and 9.1.
It must get better.
Well, because I actually thought the first episode was the better of the three.
I was invested in the first episode. This is what I thought was going to happen. When the first episode showed us Summer 8, and they referred to it very explicitly as Summer 8, and that was when they were kids, when she first met Gat. And then they referred to Summer 16, which was obviously at that time was present day. I really thought that this show was going to be showing us moments in time at different summers, and then we would have to piece it together. Or, I guess, as well as, I thought that every episode was going to be another year in the future. So summer 16 is when they're teenagers, and then summer 17 or 18 would be like the next episode or two, where they're a little bit older and they're starting to go to college and whatever. And then we see like summer 30, and they're still going back here, and they're adults with their own kids. And how cool, I actually think it'd be a fucking awesome idea for a show, even with rich white people like this, where every episode we're just shown a future and with them back hanging out together again. And we have to piece together everything that's happened in their lives over the course of the past year, where we're like, oh, they talk about divorce, and we have to piece together they're divorcing someone. And then they talk about, oh, work was tough, and piece together. So we see the course of like many, many years go past in the course of one series. That'd be a fucking cool concept. And that's what I thought they were trying to get at in the first episode. And then as soon as she woke up with amnesia on the beach, I was done. It's Desperate Housewives. Fucking, what's the other one that came out from Desperate Housewives? The other spin-off?
Yeah, there was lots of them. I can't remember from there. See, I thought it was going to be completely different to that. I thought it was going to be more of a murder mystery of like, I know what you did last summer. That's what I was expecting.
Okay.
Like when she woke up on the beach and it was dark, it was gloomy, and she had like written messages on her hand and stuff, I was like, she's going to have to piece together who is like trying to harm people. And I thought people each episode would like be killed off. That's what I was expecting.
Oh,
it
yeah,
was like
sure.
she's the one that survived. And I was like, I'm here for that.
Oh, yeah.
And then it just turned into family drama, and I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care. And I don't know, people that are into this, obviously super into this because it's got really good reviews. Maybe it's just not for me. Maybe it's just I'd find it really difficult to connect. I tried really hard. I wanted to like these characters because when I looked up the show to check if it was a show or a series or whatever, or a movie or a series, one of the first things I saw was a review saying I didn't connect because I don't care about rich white people or rich white teenagers or whatever it said. And I was like, I think that's unfair criticism. I don't want to go into this with that mindset. I really want to care about these characters and get behind it because, people are still people. There's just because their background, whether it's high or low socioeconomic, doesn't make them bad people. I care less about them. But these people, so less so her, she's trying to figure out her life around, she lost some memory and she was obviously assaulted and no one's telling her the truth. But everybody else, I don't fucking care. What's his name? Johnny is obviously dealing with his sexuality, but they made it like lame. I don't know how to put it any other way.
I kind of just brushed over it because it was like a one line of like, oh, who are you seeing or something? And it was like, I'm seeing this bloke. And it's like, oh. And he's like, oh, I'm just still trying to work it out. And then they just moved on. And that was it.
And then they kiss later. There's a scene like just after the funeral, I think episode 3, where he's kissing another guy and his sister walks in. And there's like the music comes in and it's a soap opera. It's insane how much this is trying anything different.
Well, it's based on the book, which the book is generally well received.
It's a best-selling novel, so. But by who? Like, who's the book aimed at?
Novel. So someone.
Reading age 12 to 17.
Okay.
So it's aimed at teenagers.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure as a teenager, if I watched this, I'd probably give a shit about another teenager and their love, and I'm probably just old. I don't know. I'm a man in his mid-30s who's struggling to pay bills, and I'm trying to watch these fucking, like, these teenagers complain about their lives. I just don't give a fuck.
Yeah. There's no, like, middle ground for the IMDb reviews. The IMDb reviews are either they really enjoyed it or they hated it.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me
There's
at all.
There's no middle ground on that one.
No.
People are saying the ending had been stitches, flat, not engaging, not worth watching, exceptionally lazy writing, lazy everything. And then it's like, you're all a bunch of haters, devastatingly beautiful, true to the book.
Which I don't know, because it's presented so much like a soap opera that I couldn't separate myself from that. And like Desperate Housewives, not Desperate Housewives, what's the other one? Fuck me. Devious Maids. I love Devious Maids because it's so awful. But Devious
Maids, what is that one?
It's similar to Desperate Housewives. I'm not sure if it's a spin-off or not, but it's got Eva Longoria. Eva Longoria, I think, wrote it. It's like Desperate Housewives, but like cranked up to 11. It is so ridiculous. Someone gets shot on their wedding day and stuff. Like it's so over the top. And that's,
what was that soap opera that was like so bizarre? And it was like it ended up having magical powers and stuff in it.
Oh really?
Passions?
Passions, like what used to be. Yeah, Passions. Passions was. I didn't realize there was like powers and shit in that.
Was it Passions? It used to be.
Days of Our Lives?
It used to be on. Nah. It was like, I remember there was a little kid that was like super creepy in it, and I know his name was Timmy. But I can't. It used to be on when I got home from school, and then
Days of Our
Mum would
Lives?
watch. No, it wasn't Days of Our Lives, because it was
Passions.
that.
Soap operas have incorporated characters with supernatural powers. Notably, soap opera Passions, which later moved to DirecTV, featured a witch named Tabitha Lennox, and her doll came to life. Timmy.
Yeah, that's the one. Yep.
So it was Passions.
Yeah.
Jesus
it was that,
Christ.
and then there was Mum used to call it Bold and the Brainless, but she used to watch it.
Bold and Beautiful.
She used to just laugh at the dramatic pauses, like the actual.
Yes. And that's my point with this, is like, if you're doing that stuff, be a soap opera and make it really obvious and cringe. And that's exactly what Devious Maids was doing. They knew what they were trying to accomplish. They made it as ridiculous as they could. And even someone like myself who hates the genre found it really funny. Whereas this is trying to be a really like plucking at your heartstrings, whatever. But it's so clearly filmed like a soap opera that I couldn't separate it. And maybe the writing is great. Maybe the story, the book is amazing. But again, it's not aimed at me, so it's aimed at fucking teenagers. It's not for me.
The book from Goodreads got 3.6 and it's out of 5, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Apparently 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not for me. I have not much else to say. My notes are pretty much done.
Yeah.
I got bored by like third episode, and I was randomly I downloaded. I somehow found my way onto a site that gave me the complete access to the entire sound library of Warner Brothers. So all the Looney Tunes sounds that were ever used in all their things, I happen to just have on my computer now. So
that is
randomly I was clicking through them and stuff while I was watching this, and some came up with like the slide whistles and whop whop and shit, like all these funny moments, and I was just happening to click through them, and sometimes they time so perfectly with the scene. There is a comedy buried in this show that with the right sound effects and like Looney Tunes moments, I was literally crying with my wife in the room while we were looking at sounds while this was playing. It was so funny. So that's how I made it interesting, was by playing fucking Warner Brothers sound library over the top. But it sucked.
Fair. What would you give it?
Like a 1.5, maybe. I don't know what redeeming qualities it has, but I don't know, acting's fine, I guess. It's
Yeah,
well
I don't know.
acted. I really like Rahul Kohli, and his character is fine in this. A bit more grounded than the rest. It's a 1.5. I'll be nice, I suppose.
I'm like a 1. I got bored.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Nah. First episode had me interested, and then I was like, oh, okay, let's move on. I'm kind of interested just to Google what the ending is, but I also don't care enough to be like, oh, I wonder what happened to her.
That's the thing. After I watched 3 episodes, I was thinking to myself, do I want to watch more? Would there be any ending that I'm satisfied with? Not really.
No.
I couldn't give a shit.
No. I would have liked it if it went with like someone was murdering every character. And it became like, I know what you did last summer where someone was trying to get revenge for hitting him with their car or whatever.
Or if it was just a character study, like I originally thought it was going to be. It's just a character study about these different characters living their lives, and we just get to experience their lives over time. I would really like that. But
yeah,
we had better ideas than this did. I mean, sitting in my room casting shade, it's pretty easy.
Yeah. Well, Blumhouse, throw us some money. Or Asylum, we'll make it. We'll call it.
Yeah.
You were liars.
You were liars.
Yeah.
We were lied to.
Ooh. Yeah, see? Asylum.
That's a sequel. We were lied to sounds like a sequel.
Nah, because we'll just recreate almost shot for shot, but add in a couple of murder scenes with Jai Courtney.
Yeah, so you're going murder. I'm going character study over time. I actually really want my idea to be a show. I want someone to do that where we just see characters every year or every few years, every episode we just piece it together. How fucking cool would that be? I would love that as a show.
I reckon they did that with, was it called Boy? Where they pretty much told this story over...
Oh, and they filmed the same kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over, yeah.
Yeah. Which is cool. I like the concept, but I guess one thing I was slightly different, but yeah. Oh, anyway, it's not what I wanted it to be. Yeah. When I thought that was what the direction they were going, I was kind of excited to watch the rest of the show. And then as soon as the amnesia thing hit at the end of the first episode, it was soap opera from then on. I could not give a shit.
Disappointing. Which means you get on the board.
Look at that. Score is 3-1.
Ooh.
One more Reimann win and it's fight over.
Yeah, it is. This
is the best you've done, by the way. The highest you ever got is 2. So you're already doing better than...
It's our pick with the heart. Not this week.
Yeah.
This week was
mine was a heart pick because
from the heart.
I knew it wasn't going to be good, Dangerous Animals, but it ended up being better than I thought.
Yeah, it was better than my pick.
Yeah, that was awful. But win some, lose some. I'm still glad we watched it because when everyone's going to talk about it at school, I can now shit on it with actual some knowledge rather than just shitting on it because I read it. It's bad.
Yeah. So, you know what, Jimmy? You can't expect to win them all. Yeah, if you're listening right now. Can't expect to win them all. That's my rivals, Jimmy.
My rivals, Jimmy. Jimmy, my rivals.
Yes.
I know, how dare he give us his honest feedback about how to improve the podcast.
Oh, he can. He just, I know he bites. I'm just Jai Courtney fishing, mate.
Fishing, mate. Tucker.
Fishing. All right, you know what to do, everybody. You listen on Spotify, give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, and if you're on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and tell your friends.
Tell them all,
and we'll see you guys next time. Boys.
Love yous.